Okay, Mark, we've got it figured out, and I just wanted to show you what it is that it turned out was the issue here. You can see I've got this together right now. This spins, freely, but it doesn't, just spin loosely. So I'm going to take it apart so you can see how it's actually assembled. I've got the castle nut is relatively flush. I've got a little bit of room here. If I tighten it, then I tighten up too much and it won't rotate. But in this position, you can see this nut's, that loose, I get rotation. Okay, if I take the castle nut off, okay, now here's your 5/8 washer per the manufacturer. I happen to have another one. So there's a standard 5/8 washer like they call for. And now what you'll see is you're looking right at the outer bearing with the outer bearing seal removed. This is the one that got crushed, if you remember. And what I didn't realize, or it didn't occur to me, is the reason there's no outer seal, there's an inner seal, and I'll show you that in a second. The bearing cap is the actual grease bearing cap. So with your new grease fitting in here, when you pump this up with grease, it's going to fill this whole pocket and keep that bearing lubricated. So that's what this cap does for us. Okay, so now when I go to lift this up, it comes off fairly easy, and you can see there's the bearing. So what keeps the bearing in place is that 5/8 washer, and you can see how it fits and it rides or rests against the outer surface of the bearing. So I can remove the bearing, and when I take this off the shaft and turn it over, you'll see that here's the inner bearing with the inner seal. So this seal obviously acts as the backstop for the grease, keeps it from going out that way. The bearing cap does the opposite on this side. So what hadn't occurred to me is that this is exactly the same as the wheel hub or the axle on a trailer or any other vehicle. So I've got the shaft on, I've got the bearing set in place, 5/8 washer, put my castle nut on, turn it down until it's snug, and what I did just to make sure initially was I tightened it down, not real tight, just a little more than hand tight, and then backed it up until I could see the opening for the cotter pin, and I get movement. And I could back it up a little bit more, but that's almost a little sloppy. I can't really feel much movement, but in either one of those two places, I'm only going that much of a difference. You've got enough movement, and then your bearing cap or your grease cap would go on top of that. So I think we got it figured out. I think the bearings look okay. I didn't see any damage to them. I think all the damage occurred on that outer seal, and all that really happened to that was it just got bent in. So there it is.